It's really got to be drilled. When we talk about a low single leg,
in this video, we're going to take a look at the backside or behind angle. Typically happens when you hit below a guy's knee because it makes it difficult for them to sprawl. Defensively and offensively, there's a couple different things you can do to make adjustments, which will make the offense either change their finish or change their position. So let's take a look. Here's one of the simplest examples of a backside angle or corner. Pretty simple. When it happens a lot when they hit below the knee, because it's kind of hard to sprawl and square up as a defensive guy to put them on a middle angle or anything like that. So when they hit below the knee, typically will be kind of this corner angle, which this is pretty standard. All right, so they're facing the same direction. They're both facing forward, right? That is kind of standard for this corner or backside angle. A couple things we see in this position. First one is typically the attacking guy always tries to get above the knee. So right there, see his hand get right above the knee. This is important to start to control the leg and start to kind of lock that thing out to work up to a finish. And we see the opponent trying to do the opposite. He's trying to keep his hand down or put it below his knee. Simple shelf. Still hand above the knee. Then his other hand comes up, climbs up the leg, and then is able to reach across with his other hand to look for his finish. So pretty simple, pretty standard finish when there's no whizzer or anything like that. One reaction an opponent can give on this kind of corner angle is to try and kick away, which we see here. And Sadulaev does a really good job of following. So again, he hits below the knee, which makes it really difficult for the guy to sprawl. So they typically will turn away and either go shin whizzer, kick away, or try and stuff their head. So he does his best to control the leg. And we see as this guy continues to move, we're going to see Sadulaev's hand get above the knee here. And there it is, right there. This, you can see as soon as that happens, he's going to put a lot of pressure through this guy's hip, making it way harder to move. Leg stays shelved. Really important to get above the knee when guys are kicking away. Makes it a lot harder for them to kick away. We're going to take a look at adjustments on both the offense and defensive side here. Both guys do some really good stuff, especially the offensive guy since he ends up scoring. So typical single leg, hits below the knee, gets kind of that backside angle. Now again, here the opponent drops to a knee and looks to kind of keep Sadulaev's head down. So there's a couple directions the guy can go. He can try to rubber knee back over top. Pretty difficult unless you're Kerry Colot. But most guys will continue to turn away and try and like spin out. So as this happens, Sadulaev continues to move his feet away and try to get his head up. We see the opponent keeping his head down with that hand. Now, there's the hand above the knee. It's a little bit hard to see. But right here, hand above the knee. That makes it really difficult to spin out anymore. So the opponent switches to trying to turn it into a different attack where he turns back into him. Not such a great spot since he's got control of knee and ankle. Makes this really difficult. If he's still below the knee, this is okay. But anyway, tries to turn it back into a different attack. Sadulaev, wrestles the position, allows the defense to do whatever, and makes the adjustment on the backside. So here it ends up being crackdown, hand snakes down the leg. Sits the guy right to his butt and immediately moves across the body to look for his double leg. Pretty good adjustments from both guys. That's good wrestling. Here's another position that can happen pretty often on this corner angle, where the opponent kind of kicks away and goes split. So again, below the knee, guy kicks away and then turns back in so that he's in this kind of split position here. Again, Sadulaev's got one hand at the ankle, one hand near the knee, and he also uses his shoulder and chin sometimes to control this leg. So here we see his chin doing a lot of work to shelf that thing. So now he's able to use this to get a little bit of height, this hand in the mat, and his chin is controlling this knee, hand controlling the foot. Pretty smart. And then he's able to transition to two hands to the leg if he needs to. I mean, leg straight's pretty difficult for a defense, especially if you're starting to get it shelved. Starts to try and climb up the leg. There's a little limp arm motion to look for his finish, and this guy kind of turns down, which is reasonable. He was not in a great spot. Here's another scenario / option to finish on this kind of angle. He outside shelves and comes to his feet here. So again, hits below the knee, and then he can feel this guy kind of starting to reach back for this whizzer, which is going to make it a little difficult to get the leg out and across on the normal shelf. So here he's going to outside shelf. Typically, we talk about our guys getting a hand above the knee to outside shelf, but here Sadulaev goes, I mean, he's definitely below the knee at the ankle here as he steps up with it. All right, still below, but then he does do his best to try and get this knee pointed up and high, which is a good finish mechanic. This guy starts to bail, trying to kick away, and Sadulaev says, I'm just going to finish. Gets a hand above the knee and then actually just jumps on him. So, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. This is another kind of outside shelf type finish where he's a little more controlled through the whole thing. Actually gets the leg across and gets above the knee. Again, hits this attack. Now he immediately locks his hands, and again, he's below the knee here, which again, we tell our athletes you want to try and get a hand above the knee before you try and shelf it on this outside hip. But again, partner's looking whizzer, which makes it really hard to get the foot all the way across to normal shelf. So he pulls this ankle up to his hip and just starts to stand up. All right, we can see where partner's still trying to keep this whizzer a little bit. Not in a great spot anymore. Really starting to get leaned away, which is not good for the defense. He bails to quad pod, has ankle and armpit. And we're going to see gets head low and shoulder on the leg before he tries to transition this leg across. So as it comes across, he's making sure to get above the knee once again. And then he can climb up, hand switch, and look for his finish.